Hello boys and girls, how are you? This is JC once again with another yo-yo review, and today we are on the Yoyofactory Will. It is a flagship model by Yoyofactory from 2021 or 2020, I can't remember exactly. But it is made of 7075 aluminum with stainless steel rims. And I call this a flagship because it retailed for $130, which is quite a lot. Again, I don't know how they define flagship, but this, I guess, is one of their big releases. And it's, I think, one of their most popular products recently, in at least in Japan, I know. And one of the reasons being it is a signature model by Japanese national champion Akitoshi Tokubuchi. That's his name. And if you watch Akitoshi play, I think you would notice his style is quite distinct. He doesn't go super fast, super technical. The word I can think of to describe his style is almost like bouncy, like a little bit light-hearted, and very stylish. I'm a big fan of his style. And he works with this lab in Japan called Sus Yo-Yo Mechanics, and they make some really good yo-yos. I've reviewed a few, like the Matavity, I believe it's called. Yeah. And just looking at the design of this yo-yo, you can see that it's nothing too flashy. It seems fairly basic, right? It's got this kind of hourglass shape with super wide steel rims, and the center part is kind of, by today's standard, kind of strange because it's got a bulge here, right? Which takes finger spin out of the picture, I believe. So looking at the shape, it kind of reminds me of the closest yo-yo I have to this is the Hydrogen Crash. Right, you can see the two yo-yos. A little bit, I can see similarities, but more importantly, you can see the kind of the trend of going wide with your stainless steel rims. And although I have to mention that in play, the Will does feel very different than the Hydrogen Crash. The first thing you notice when you throw the yo-yo down is how powerful it is. Because when usually you would sometimes, do a sleeper, do a few basic tricks, and then do a kind of premature bind. And usually that's fine, but with the Will, when you do that, when you bind too early, you feel the yo-yo, bam, kind of like protesting, hitting your hand with a lot of power. And that's something I'm not used to. And not even the Galaxy Diver has this much power, at least not in the beginning, not in the early phases of the spin, I guess. But this really powerful. You can feel that it's hard to miss. Another thing I noticed is the Will does come with a fairly noticeable vibe, even the 8 grade. And I've tried quite a few. I've tried, I think, 3 maybe Wills, and they all have that. One of them is a bit better. But anyways, it's kind of still a small sample size, but I'm guessing it's partly because of the super wide weight rings. And also, I guess because this is designed as a pure performer, right? It's supposed to tick all the boxes that are required by Akitoshi. Yeah, he doesn't care about finger spin. I'm guessing he doesn't care if your yo-yo is glass smooth, right? You just want a beast, and the Will is that. And yeah, what this power and these huge weight rings bring is amazing stability. And this yo-yo can spin for such a long time, and no matter how hard I try to abuse it on the string, it stays on the same axis. And it's not, again, you're not looking at a speed player here, because picking up speed with this is actually not that easy. It takes some effort, but I don't think it's meant for that, because Akitoshi is a player that plays at a pretty constant pace, right? He doesn't speed up. He doesn't go for God speed, right? He keeps his pace. It's not slow by any means, but he keeps his tempo. He maintains that. So this yo-yo, when you play at that speed, it's perfect. It's comfortable. But either way, this is something that takes some getting used to, partly because of the shape, partly because of just the power and kind of the sluggishness. So I played with the Will. In the beginning, I was not a big fan. Sure, it's powerful. Sure, it performs well, but you have to there's more to that than more than that to a yo-yo, right? You need the yo-yo to feel nice, to be kind of what I don't know. It suits your preferences. Has to hit the spot for you. And the Hydrogen Crush is that for me. Is exactly that. But Will is not. It doesn't quite. It didn't quite appeal to me in the beginning. But usually with yo-yos like this, I would give it more time for a fairer review, and I did that with the Will. I played with this for about 2-3 weeks, and absolutely, it does grow on me. I think it's true for every yo-yo that you're not used to in the beginning, because you play with it for a while, and eventually it becomes the norm. But then after I get used to this yo-yo, and I play with, for example, the shutter, it starts to feel a little bit strange. The shutter begins to feel a little bit almost not floaty, but a little bit flimsy. It's not, right? It doesn't take that much power to move the shutter around. It doesn't take that much effort. But with the Will, it does. But then once you're used to it, it's a really, really solid performer. So I think, again, the Will is really quite expensive at $130. But this is a yo-yo that would almost mold your entire play style to it. Right? You play with it, you get used to it, and many other yo-yos will begin to feel a little bit strange. And then this will just be your yo-yo, and this will be the one you use, and you will likely get 1, 2, 3 copies of this yo-yo just to be consistent. So yeah, I would say it's something definitely worth trying, but try your friends before you buy. Thank you.